Welcome back. In this section, we're going to be discussing composition. Composition is one of the reasons why you should adopt React, and I'm very excited about this section of this course because it's actually one of the aspects that allow me to embrace React. And I've tried different frameworks, and this aspect of React is actually uh, one thing that made me to continue to code in React and just help me to be able to think of my work in a more granular way and very simple and easy to approach. So what is composition itself? So composition in React is just like it sounds. Composition is a way, according to Wikipedia, say composition is a way to combine simple functions to build more complicated ones. So it could be functions, it could be anything. It's like just think about it like a Lego brick. When you put blocks of Lego together to be able to build different kind of composition and buildings that you want to build, because and depending on your imagination, you can use Lego bricks to build different kind of stuffs. So, and that is what composition is all about: taking blocks of elements, matching them together to build more complicated stuff. And I think it's a very good approach of solving problems, because and that is what React actually help you to do. It helps you to look at a complex problem and see where you can break them down into little pieces and see how you can put those pieces together in different ways to build complicated applications. So the concept is this: when you have a pieces, that pieces is perfect. So that means if that pieces you have is doing one thing and it's doing that thing well, and we're going to look at it more in more details in this lecture. So you have that one pieces that is well done. You have other pieces that is well done. You can combine them for them to be able to do more things better. So it gives you, when there is an error in your application, the bug is easy. So you can able to think of your code, so it makes working in teams more easier. So those are things that is very, very important in working with React, and why I think you should continue with this course, and why you're going to love it so much. So like things is in this is a pure JavaScript code, and we can actually, because React is actually JavaScript, so we're going to use this to just explain the concept of what composition is all about. So we have a simple function here called get profile link that is composing a profile link from a GitHub. So it returns a GitHub link plus and concatenating the username that is passed into it. So we have the second function also, get profile pig, that actually takes in the username and compose it with a GitHub link to get the username profile, and it returns that. So this is a specific component. We can call this component, and we can call this a component. Just let it assume, but this is just a JavaScript function, right? So we can assume these are components because they are each functions and they are doing one thing, and they are doing that specific thing very well. So we can combine these two functions to actually build a program and get a meaningful data from the two of them. So let's say we need and this is it, get a profile data from GitHub. And what do we need? We need a profile picture, and we need a link to that user profile picture. So composing that is easy because we have already built the picture function and we have already built the link function. So what are we doing in this code is actually combining both of them together, which make it easier and easy to use. So, and we can compose this together and get profile data, and it works out of the box. So let's look at this code in another format, and this will give us clarity why using function and composition is very, very good. So this code is very correct here, where we have the code that we have defined in a function earlier on being written directly here. But the problem to this is that, imagine we want to create another kind of function, or another kind of, we want to use this code in different part of the application. We still have to continue to use this again. Writing this, number one, causes duplication of code. So that means we have to rewrite this and rewrite this. So it makes it harder to maintain our code, and sometimes it can be very error prone to the list of it. So another thing is that we are repeating ourselves all the time. So which comes to the golden rules in composition, it's don't repeat yourself. So if we call it DOT rule, so like don't repeat yourself, or like do one thing. So that's what I mean, like do one thing. Let a particular block of your composition is doing one thing, and they are doing that one thing particularly well. So we don't have to write duplication of functions, because I have a function here in green that is handling the profile picture. So I don't have to like have it anywhere else. If I have it in another place, again, it's like duplication, and it creates a lot of overhead, and sometimes it can be very difficult to actually reason with that sort of code. So the golden rule is write a modular function that solve a particular problem and solve that problem well. And the thing is, when you try to write your React code, and you're trying to see patterns of code duplication, there is a way you start to think in a very modular way and say that, okay, I have this code here that is doing this one thing, but I'm going to use it in another page in my UI. I don't need to rewrite it again. I can just import it into that UI and compose it. We're going to see an example, and using Udacity website, and be able to compose, see how to break a huge UI into a granular form in a way that we can use and reason with in React. So this is the Udacity website. We can see that there's a lot of elements here, and a lot of call them components at the basic level, and the composition is like putting components together to build a particular page. So this is a page here with different components. So what are the components that we can actually identify from this page? So let's break them together and see. So I've actually done that here, and put them in different colors to be able to highlight different components that that we can derive from this landing page from Udacity. So number one that is at the top here is the Udacity navigation page, and also we have, I'll call this the content page in the orange. So we have the header content. So, and I will call this the call to action, the purple, and we have the blue one here, which have the course list. And you can see the course list actually is a very, I like to dwell on that a little bit, because we have 3 courses here, and one of each course is actually a component composed 3 times. You understand? Though the content are different, but you can see they have the same pattern, the same styling, and everything. So it could be a one course component that can be composed 3 times. So the same thing, putting all these together actually give us this website. So, and let's go a little bit deeper and see how this actually look like in code. So how does it look like? How does React put all these components together? So we're going to just examine this simple components and composition here. So I've just tried to break them down according to how we have. So we have the whole page itself as the parent component. That is like the one that puts everything together and embrace them. So we have the navigation component, we have the header content, we have the call to action, we have the course, the single course item, and we have the course list that brought all the 3 courses together. So that is how you think in React. That is how React help you put all these applications. So all the codes that belongs to different parts of these applications, of these components, can actually be put in there, and you can actually now compose them together to form that particular page that we are looking at. So, and these components can also be used elsewhere. So since we have defined the navigation page on that home page, we are going to an contact us page, and the navigation also needs to be there. So we don't need to write navigation page again, because it already exists. We could just import navigation and make it available in the contact us page. So these are the composition works here. So we have the page here. So we have the page, and as the parent element, so we now have navigation, we have header content, we have call to action. So this is the most interesting one. I think you should look at this. The course list actually is a parent element to the course also, because we have single course that is composed, and it can now be replicated into 3 times. So you can have the course being replicated, and it could make them appear 3 times in the course list. So that's way React page composition works. So to recap what we have learned from this, I think the most takeaway from this is that React makes you to reason about your code, and it makes you to break specific components, big applications into simple reusable components that you can think through, and it actually makes you to be able to work in teams and different individuals can work together. It's reduce errors prone, so it makes your development faster. And do not forget the dot rule. Every aspect of your component should actually do one thing, and they should do that one thing right. So I think this is makes you excited about learning React, as I'm also excited about it also. So let's continue and we meet in the next course. Thank you.